Hey parents, thank you so much for tuning in live for an exciting episode where we're going to talk about postpartum fitness, how to get rid of that belly fat. I'm Pamela Peckerman. I've done this twice. This is Morgan Kline, the co-founder of Burn Bootcamp. Now you've done this, by this I mean motherhood, twice.
Yep.
You just had
another
baby.
Yep, I have a son, 4 months old. So yes, in December I had my second child. So yes, I've now done this twice. And I'm still learning every day on what the best exercises are for postpartum. So I'm excited to be here today, excited to share with you guys some safe tips on how to get back into shape, get back into the gym after you've had your child.
And you and I were talking, and I know you mamas out there are going to agree, every body is different. Every mama's experience is different. So tell me, I know your second was completely different than your first. So what happened there?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think it's just important to understand that everybody's pregnancy is going to be different. You know, they may work out more or less than you, or they may be just, you know, have some different complications, and then everybody's delivery is different. So my first, I didn't have any complications, had a great birth with my daughter. However, with my son, we had an emergency C-section. So I've now experienced, you know, both of those, ways of having a child, and I can say that C-sections are much harder recovery for me and much different. So it's just really important to never compare your journey with, you know, your friends or anyone else that you're seeing on social media, because every journey is different. Every pregnancy and postpartum phase is different for everybody.
I know with me the same. My second was just a complete, and they were back to back. So I had one and then another one about a year later, completely different. The second one, I think I was telling you before, I was cleared after I think 5 or 6 weeks, which is usually the standard.
Yeah.
And I thought, I got this. I went down on the mat to do some leg lifts, and I realized I can't even do 2 inches right now.
Yeah.
And so I think it's really important to listen to a trainer if you have one. Listen to your doctor, but listen to your body and your gut.
Yes, absolutely. More importantly, listening to yourself, right? Because you're right, you usually get cleared between that 6 and 8 week mark since delivering. And that's when I got cleared, but I knew my body and I knew I still wasn't ready. So I didn't start, you know, really getting to the gym till about 10 or 11 weeks consistently. Because I knew that if I went back too soon, I'm, you know, more prone to injury or more prone to, you know, even just feeling that defeat if I wasn't able to really get into it the way I wanted to.
And something you said before, Offset, was give yourself some grace. Which I love that, because I think as moms, we beat ourselves up. You're like, oh, you open up a magazine, you're like, how did she do that? You know, 9 months on, 9 months off, or more.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
And so we are going to hit the floor, and you're going to show us some exercises. But I should say again, if something doesn't feel right, we're going to give you some modifications.
Yes, absolutely. We'll try to do some different levels here, just depending on how far post-pregnancy you are. So, the biggest thing to first start off with is, you know, we carry a baby for 9 months, right? So that's all in the, you know, front side of our body. Our uterus is growing. We're putting a lot of pressure onto our lower back. So the first thing to remember is your core just went through a wreck. You know, your core just went through a lot. So even though you might be able to do certain things, it's important to slow it down and really gain that strength back into your core before you start full-blown going into all your exercises.
So we're going to build the strength, and we're going to focus on the sexy as a back burner, because we first need that strength in the core.
Absolutely.
Okay, so what is our first
one we're going to do is a glute bridge. Okay. So glute bridges, you're going to start on your back. Okay, on your back. And you are going to drive.
Hit the floor.
Yep, hit the floor, find a yoga mat.
Okay.
So all the way down on your back.
Which, by the way, this is also time for you to rest, because you're not getting much sleep right now. I know. I've done this. I'm doing this. Okay.
Yes, and obviously all these exercises are things that you can do at home. You know, take 20 minutes to just do these repetitions to build that core back. So glute bridge, we're going to focus on your glutes, obviously, but then also that lower back that I just talked about, went through a lot. So glute bridge, you're going to drive your hips all the way up to the sky and really squeeze your butt together. Yep. And you're going to hold for about 3 to 5 seconds, and then you're going to go back down.
And now, as I'm doing this, I know, again, this is great for your core, and this is great for your glutes, but we talked about pelvic floor, which is like a big buzzword, but as I do this, what is pelvic floor for the mamas out there who still don't know?
So pelvic floor really is everything that your body, you know, your uterus, all the organs that just were, you know, used to support your child, right? So you're going to want to make sure that you're bringing that pelvic floor back together. So keeping your core nice and tight is something you're going to want to remain very constant in all these exercises that we do today, is driving your belly button in towards your spine versus letting it hang out, okay? If you feel like you're doing an exercise and you can't support your core and your belly button's sticking out, you're doing it wrong and you're doing more harm to your core, okay?
Yeah, that's a really good tip, is just kind of be mindful of the exercises and how you're breathing and how, what's a good tip is, I guess, like somebody's pulling your belly button into your tummy.
Yep, or drawing it right into your spine and keeping it nice and tight. Okay, so back to those glute bridges. This is a simple move right here, okay? You're going up and down, holding for about 3 seconds, and you're gonna really start to feel those lower back extensors burning, and even in your glutes burning. So doing this about 15 to 20 reps. And to modify up, if you're ready to kind of take it to the next level, you can lift one leg up as you do this, and even higher like this, and just driving those hips even more.
She's going to try to kill me today.
Then now you're also working on your balance at the same time.
Yeah, and again, that looks really easy, but it's even hard for me, and I'm 5 years and 4 years out from pregnancies, but the balance takes a long time to come back.
Absolutely.
So be graceful with yourself.
Yeah, so doing this, like I said, about 15 to 20 reps, holding a couple seconds, and then going through a couple rounds. So we'll go through a couple different exercises here.
So, but I do love the bridges.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
This is going to tighten and lift that booty, but then also, you know, like I said, restore that core.
Okay. What's up next on our agenda?
All right, so next we're going to just stay down here. We're going to do side planks, and I'll do these together with you, okay? So the reason why we're not doing a regular plank here, I explained this offset, was a lot of the times when people are doing planks, they let their belly hang out, right? Because they have not regained that core back in their either lower back or their core muscles.
She means kind of like letting it go like this.
Yep, so if you find that when you're in a plank position and you're dipping your hips down low and you just really cannot hold it here, go ahead and go right into a side plank, okay? Side planks are where you're on one arm at a time, okay, on your elbow. Yep, and then, so making sure, and I'll just show you that your shoulder is lined up with your elbow here, and that your hips are up off the ground. Okay, and so if you need to modify this one, if this is a little bit difficult, you can take this top leg and bend it right here, almost like a kickstand for your body, okay, and then still lifting right here. Now what this is going to help you do is that gravity isn't naturally pulling your belly button to the ground, so the side plank is keeping that all in very, very tight. And then again, you can just dip here as a side plank up and down, and that's going to do the same thing.
You still feel it in the oblique area?
Oh yeah.
I have to say, I'm loving that I feel it in my legs as well.
Absolutely.
Which is nice.
And then I'll go ahead and show you guys a little bit of a mod up here. So if I'm in that side plank, and I'm going to go leg all the way up, and I'm going to look up to the sky holding my hand up and just holding it stationary here.
So I know what she's doing behind me is Miss Fancy Pants is doing the hard version. Put me in this version right here. I know how this works.
Yes. So again,
because I could barely do. There you go.
So 2 ways you could do this one: about a 30-second hold and then switching arms. Or if you are dipping those hips, getting that movement in, again, 15 to 20 reps, and then switching sides. Okay, so that's number 2.
I love that one. That's a good, I like that. And it's good just overall body, again, getting your balance back. A lot of this revolves around getting your balance back.
Absolutely.
Because you're not going to get balance anywhere else in your life. You might as well try to get it in your body, because it's not going to happen anywhere else.
We can try. But yeah, planks are great for really full body. You're getting even your shoulders. You know, you're working on those shoulders because you're holding your body up there. So,
all right, what's next?
So
we're
third
ready.
exercise, we're going to go up to our feet. So this one is called a leg swing. Okay, so leg swings, imagine that you've got a chair in front of you. You're going to take your leg all the way over that chair. And I think it's wise to even get a chair and give yourself that target to get up nice and high.
Okay.
So you're
I'm going to try to do this without falling off. Is now a good time to say that I'm still in some physical therapy after my second one?
If you need it, you can go up against a wall. That's a great point. If the balance isn't quite there, you can have something to hold on to, and you're still doing that same thing. So what we're doing here is obviously we're lifting that leg up. Okay, you're going to feel it in your legs, but you're also using your core not only to keep your balance, but also you're driving your core and keeping it nice and tight.
I like to, I really feel like if you think about the action that you want to feel, you're really going to put your energy there. So I feel like, okay, use whatever is still left in there and lift from here.
Exactly.
Like put your mind to your muscle, right?
Exactly. Oh, absolutely. So if that's a little much for you, okay, we can go, if the entire leg lift, hands behind your head. This is called a steam engine. Okay. So it's the same motion. We are adding a little bit of a twist here, but you're taking your opposite elbow to your opposite knee. Okay, and then you're just, again, driving it in.
That's
Biggest thing here to think about is driving that belly button in, okay? So if you find yourself letting it kind of hang out,
I'm going to show them
drive it
sideways
in
so that they can see like that you're not, this is not what we're doing. We're not crunching it.
Right, we're not crunching it. We're more focused on bringing our knee up to our elbow versus elbow to knee.
Okay.
Yep.
So we're going to try to keep the back
And if you need to
straight.
completely eliminate the twist of it, okay, if that's still too much, you can just simply lift your legs. Okay.
Which, again, if you're at week 6 or 10, and this may
be
very well
all.
and that's
Absolutely.
cool.
And we talked about it, like it's okay to have that grace, right? And say, okay, I can't do what I once could, but I know I'm going to get there.
Right.
You know, and being very satisfied and congratulating yourself and being proud that I can lift like my legs and just trying to get better every day.
Bust out those pom-poms. Think about it, right? You have a little kid right now. You're teaching them everything about life, the baby steps. Well, now's your chance to do your baby steps.
That's so true. Like when your kid takes a step, you like congratulate them like it's nobody's business.
Same thing for you. Like, yes, I lifted my foot off the ground.
Yes.
It's
very important to do
how
that.
it should be.
Very important. Okay. So we are going to go, I wanted to show a mod down even further than this. So if the balance is just not there yet, you're going to go all the way on your back. Okay. And I'm just going to show this one. And you're going to just bring your knees right up to your belly button line. So imagine you've got a line right here. You're going to alternate, okay, taking your knee right in. Yep. Just like that. And again, keeping your core nice and tight.
And again, I do put like my mind to my muscle, so you start to think about what am I doing here.
Yep, and then over time, as you get, you're feeling that core a little bit more, I'm going to show you kind of the, a mod up here is just going a little bit quicker and keeping one leg off the ground like that. Okay. So that would be a mod up on this one as well.
And I like that.
Yep.
This I like, yeah.
But this one is not something you jump right into because you don't want to start twisting. You don't want to start keeping your feet off the ground. So definitely work your way towards something like that.
Cool.
All right, and we're going to stay on the ground for the last one.
Oh, good. More sleep time. I love it. It's fantastic. Yes.
So this one is called a bird dog. Okay. And this one really does focus on balance. So bird dogs, you're going to get on all fours. Okay. And first, just make sure your form is correct here, keeping your shoulders over your wrists. Okay. And then you're going to take, let's start with your left leg. You're going to drive it out. Okay. And at the same time, you're lifting your right arm. Okay. Creating a nice straight line here. Okay, so not only are you going to feel it in your glutes and your hamstrings a little bit and that core, or I'm sorry, that lower back extensor, but you're also going to be balanced right here, okay, keeping your core nice and tight. Again, anytime you're in this prone position, make sure that your belly button is not driving towards the ground and it's driving up, like someone's grabbing your belly button with a string.
You sort of don't want that sort of sinking into the ground.
Exactly, exactly. So I'm right here. I've got my opposite arm, my opposite leg. I'm going to drive my knee to my elbow. Yep, and then all the way back out, and then hold it, and then switch. Okay, so then going back down to neutral, and then switching. You got your right leg, your left arm, and you're doing that same thing.
And as you can see from my misbalance, that most likely a pregnancy might leave you with one side having a little less balance than the other. So I know where my weakness is. You'll figure out yours as time goes on.
Yep, and that's okay. And don't avoid your weaknesses, right? So like that is, now that's the side you need to work on extra because it's natural for us to be like, I can't do that exercise, I'm not going to do it. If that's your weakness, make sure that you are, being disciplined enough to work on that because that's the only way you're going to get better.
Absolutely. And again, as somebody told me, many trainers, yourself as well, you will overcompensate. So if you don't build the strength in the side that's weak, you will start to use something that you're not supposed to for a certain movement. And I think we have a question.
Yes.
Yes, Andrea McGrew is wondering about the best exercises for a diastasis recti.
Ooh. Okay. So a lot of these ones.
Should we tell everybody what that is first? Because I'm glad that somebody knows what that is.
Yeah. So ab separation. Okay. So naturally, as we have a baby, okay, we grow our baby. Your abs are going to separate. Okay, and then of course it's going to take time to bring those abs back together. People are going to have different variations of it, just depending on their pregnancy. Again, everybody is different. But honestly, a lot of those exercises we just did is also keeping in mind that ab separation. Biggest thing you don't really want to do is those planks where you don't have the core because, again, you're now training your body as those abs are separated. They're not going to learn to come back together. So what we talked about with that posture, just remaining a really good posture when you're doing all of these exercises are very important to bring those abs back together.
Yeah.
So all of those exercises would be good ones for DR.
And I would say everybody should ask their gynecologist what their number is. So you kind of know where you're starting out, right? They're basically going to take, hopefully it's 1 or 2. If it's more, you deal with it. And they'll go somewhere in this like area and just tell you, okay, you have like a 2-finger separation, and then you know what you need to work on.
Yeah, there's several great resources out there, and making sure that you are checking to see, kind of where you're at postpartum. You don't want to ignore that, because it can go over time, and you could have it for years and years and years. And not to say you can't ever get it back, but the longer you go, the harder it is
to recuperate.
Yeah.
Did we answer her question?
I think so.
Yeah? Okay, great.
Awesome.
We have another question from Rufina then. She's wondering about exercise for lower back pain to do if you have a herniated disc.
Okay, so a lot of stuff you're going to want to do here is like, you're not going to do a lot of lateral movement or a lot of jumping, okay? So again, a lot of those exercises that we just did is lower impact, but making sure that you're not compounding, or you're not doing like jump squats or anything like that. So no pounding for sure. And then even no like lateral movement, right? Because it just takes one time for you.
I'm thinking no kickboxing for this person.
That may be a little bit more difficult.
Okay.
Yes.
Do we want to show them maybe one movement that we didn't have planned?
Yeah, we can show a squat still.
Okay.
We can show a squat, and I think squats are still okay. But again, taking that impact out of it, right? And if it still is painful here, you got a wall sit. Something like a wall sit where we don't have a wall here, but if you're imagining a wall, you're still working your legs and you're keeping your core nice and tight. But let's go ahead and do a squat here, and let's talk about good squat form. I'm going to do it sideways
so we can show good and bad form.
Okay, so let's show bad form first. Okay, so bad form, yes, is certainly bending and hinging right here at the hips. Okay, so let's show them again. Bad form at the hips. You're hinging here. Okay, you don't want to do that. Okay, you are not at all working your leg muscles, which is what a squat is for. So another form of bad form is when your knees go over.
Right.
Okay, so again, knees going over your toes, and almost if your heels are lifting up when you're doing a squat, then that is also really, really bad form. Okay, so what we want to do here is pretend like you're sitting back on your heels, or actually sit back on your heels, and you're sitting down in a seat, right? And so you saw her upper body stayed intact, chest up, shoulders back, and her knees are behind her toes, and then her quads are parallel to the ground. So that's a good squat form. You can actually get those feet a little bit wider than shoulder width apart.
Does that make it easier?
It makes it a little bit easier there, yep. So again, just going all the way down, getting those quads parallel, and then driving it up through your heels and not on your toes. So that's a good squat form.
So by the way, I actually try, when I'm home, I do a squat without my shoes. And whatever, it's fine. We're all family, we're friends here, we're all parents. So that actually, I can see that these can go up.
Okay.
So that I know that I'm not leaning, because otherwise, right, if you're leaning forward, you're putting all the way here, which is what you say is
another
what you
thing
should be
to
doing. Make
sure, if you're at home and nobody's watching you do a squat, another thing to do is go up against a wall.
Yeah.
Okay, so imagine that we have a wall right here, and you're doing, actually go this way.
This way, okay.
And do a bad form.
Oh, you mean
You're
going
to hit the wall, right?
Oh, that's a really good tip.
Or if you've got a wall down here and you do your knees wrong, what are you going to do?
You're going to kick it.
You're going to hit the wall, right? So if you need to check yourself on form, go right up against a wall. If you're hitting it, then you need to lean back and bring that and shift that weight towards the back more. And as we talked about, a wall sit would be another good one of where it's very low impact, but you're still working your legs and keeping your core nice and tight. Wall sits.
Okay, we have more questions. Okay.
Yes, Julia is wondering what's the absolute best postpartum exercise you could do if you could only pick one?
Ooh.
I think glute bridge.
Okay.
Yeah, glute bridge for me, because and we've done that, and we can do it again really quick.
This is this guy? Okay.
Because I know after my pregnancies, my lower back was extremely, extremely weak, okay, which you don't typically think of. And sometimes, too, when you want to, get that six-pack back, you're just focused on, like, crunches. That's, like, the worst thing you can do postpartum is, like, crunches. So really focusing on first getting your lower back strengthened back up, so then you can also work on, the front side of your core. So again, glute bridge, you're down on your back, okay? You're driving your weight into your heels, okay? Into your heels here, again, not to your toes. You're driving your hips all the way up to the sky, holding and squeezing for about 3 to 5 seconds, and then bringing it right back down. And there's just so many variations of this one. That's why I love it. Like we said, you can put your foot up.
Right.
You can do more pulses.
Right.
So once you're up here, you're just pulsing up here instead of coming back down every time. So that would be my favorite to you're first getting back into fitness.
Now I have a question. What about, okay, so you just had a baby. Can you do this with a band?
Absolutely.
Do you need a weight?
No, actually, that's actually really good to do, just to keep that tension nice and tight. And it's going to be difficult.
Sure.
That's definitely going to be more of a difficult move. But that's a way to challenge yourself once you do feel like you can take that next step. Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any more questions?
Not right now. If you
All right. Do we want to show some last fitness moves before we send them back off to their children who maybe they're napping right now? Mom, congratulations.
Yeah, I mean, let's do something where, let's do a push-up, okay? Because I think push-ups are extremely important exercises, but we can do them very incorrect. So I'd love to show proper form. It's not like you can't do push-ups right after you've gotten into it. The only thing I worry about, again, is just letting your core kind of go, and then that's not bringing that strength back in. So
here we go.
Let's do push-ups. We'll do a couple variations here. I'm going to talk bad form first.
Okay, that's me, bad form. Okay.
Okay, so bad form, let's say you're on your toes.
Okay.
Actually, go ahead and go to your knees. That's fine.
Okay.
Go to your knees here. Okay, now bad form is actually, let me do it. Let me do this one, okay? So bad form here is my butt is up in the air, okay, and I'm bringing my nose all the way to the ground. Okay, that is bad form.
That's not giving us anything?
Right.
No? Okay.
Right. So what I want you to do, if this is you, is shift those hips forward. Imagine there's a straight line between your shoulders and your knees. Okay. See that difference between the straight line here versus keeping your butt up? There's no straight line. Okay. So you're keeping your hips forward, and then you're taking your chin out past your fingertips as low as you can go, trying to get that chest to the deck, and then you're pushing it back up. Okay. So here's where you can start as a modification into a push-up, okay? And then as you gradually get a little bit stronger here, we can go to our toes, okay? And we can do that same thing, going all the way down and all the way up. Okay, it's important to keep your fingers nice and wide here, shoulder width apart, okay? And we're not going out as well. So it's kind of hard to see on this camera angle, but so you don't want your elbows to go.
You're not going this way?
Exactly. Yep.
Okay.
So it's more at an angle here for push-ups that are going to focus on your chest. Or you can do tricep push-ups where you're keeping your elbows nice and tight, and it's going to focus more on that tricep muscle. But the push-up is great because not only are you getting that upper body, but again, also that core strength.
Cool. Question?
Yes. Mariah on Facebook says she thought push-ups weren't good for diastasis recti.
No, they're not good. And we showed it just because if you're ready for that, did she say they're not or they are?
She thought they're not.
Yeah, they are not good. So anything in that prone position, okay, if your abs have separated a lot, this is the prone position. So planks I would stay away from, push-ups I would stay away from, anything where your belly button is facing the ground, I would stay away from, because naturally gravity is going to just drive that belly button out even more, and it's not going to cause you to bring your muscles in.
But you can get there, you know, eventually.
Yeah, so you can get there, and that's why we showed the push-up move.
Yeah, she's also wondering if there's any exercises besides glute bridges and heel slides that help to heal diastasis recti.
I would start with like a side plank, okay? So that's what we talked about. Side planks is still going to bring that core in, but you're not putting your belly button towards the ground, so gravity is not going out, but it's the same thing. It's driving that belly button in. So really all of those exercises I tried to tie in that would be good for ab separation.
Great. Is there anything else that you want to show us? Or if you guys have any other questions, I think we have a few minutes left. Otherwise, you know, again, just to reiterate, every body is different.
Yes.
And talk to your doctor. If you are training with somebody, please make sure, because I have, if you follow me on Instagram, I have Fitness Mama Drama. So find somebody who is postnatal certified if you're training with them, and really check that they know what they're doing, because the wrong exercises can set you back, but the right ones can get you moving forward.
Absolutely. That's extremely key, is to find a good trainer that understands kind of what you're going through, understands what safety is when it comes to that. But I think the biggest message really is just to give yourself grace, right? You know, you did just go through a transformation. You created another human.
It was a medical procedure, so treat it as such.
Exactly, yeah. And don't compare yourself to how quickly others are getting into shape. You know, I think it's too easy to do that these days because of social media, and just, you know, it's not worth it. So really it's your journey, and just love every process of it, and appreciate it, because really the priority in that first year of life is to nourish your baby. And you know, you're not sleeping well, your schedule's thrown off, you know, you're learning to balance either going from 0 kids to 1 or 1 to 2. So just giving yourself all that grace is very important.
Thank
So.
you so much. For more with Morgan, you can check out Burn Boot Camp. They're coming to a city near you if they're not already there. Thank you so much, mamas, for joining us. I'm Pamela Peckerman, and keep following us here at Parents.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.